Welcome to the Prospective Podcast with your hosts ULTRAMAG7 and Kotta Ranks. The Pros Perspective. The Prospective is a monthly event held in Center City, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Khyber Pass Pub. Live music, a live audience, a live conversation, culture, vibes, the Prospective.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Peace. It's ULTRAMAG7. We got another episode. The 7th episode. Lucky 7. We have Philadelphia's own Mr. Eon. Yes, Mr. Eon from the group The High and the Mighty. You know Eon, you know DJ Mighty Mind. Well, we got him here. We got a great conversation. For me, my first time actually meeting Mr. Eon, but we have a history together, which is crazy. So you'll hear in a couple of the stories how our stories kind of intertwine. But as always, Prospective Podcast, ULTRAMAG7, Kotta Ranks, Mr. Eon. Let's go.
Like that. Steve, we sound good? We sound good?
1, 2. How we doing today?
1, 2. Okay,
All right.
okay.
How are you?
So we are back with another episode of the Prospective Podcast.
Yes, sir.
And as we always start, you know, we gotta do our housekeeping. But number one, Ranks, what's happening, brother?
I'm good, brother. How you doing, man?
I am wonderful.
I'm happy to be here with the great Mr. Eon.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna get into some things. Brother Bug, how you doing? Yes, sir. So, you know, that's the crew. And sound man Steve, you good?
Steve's in the building.
Steve's in the building. That's our brother, making it sound good. We always want to thank the Khyber Pass for hosting us right
As
here
always.
in Center City, beautiful Center City, Philadelphia. We have a couple sponsors. You know, Ranks, we got another sponsor.
I know.
But we have Half Acre Beer, which is our sponsor, straight out of Chicago.
Chi-town.
But we have another sponsor, XL Forward.
Yep.
EXCLFWD. So for y'all people here, you see this hat that I got on, this little green, little rose gold. You know, reached out to the brother. He sent me 3 hats. See, look, we got the hats right there, Bug showing the hats. So we reached out. I said, yo, just send us 3 hats. One for me, one for Ranks, one for Bug.
Yep. Quarter water joint.
And
it's fire.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Fine.
So they sent it. I did a commercial. I put it in the episode. So if you listen to the episode, you hear it. Matter of fact, we're going to put a commercial right here.
XL Forward. That's EXCLFWD. XL Forward. They can be found on Instagram. They got some dope gear. Trust me when I tell you this. You know, a couple months ago, they reached out to me. They gifted me like a dope t-shirt. Go to Instagram, XL Forward, EXCLFWD. They've got hats, t-shirts, shorts, rugbies, vests, all types of dope stuff. So go there, check out the gear, purchase something, tell them I sent you, tell them we sent you. XL Forward, EXCLFWD on Instagram. Back to the show.
And through the brilliance of editing,
Right.
you will hear it right there. You know, so we're just trying to do our thing. So salute to EXCLFWD XL Forward. Oh,
Yep.
Also, shout out to somebody else sent me something. If y'all see the shirt that I got on, and this is it's a long one. Pause. It's a long one. Dig, find, listen, sample, chop, repeat. So if you're on Instagram, go to Dig, Find, Listen, Sample, Chop, Repeat. They're on the West Coast doing some brilliant hip hop stuff. But my man sent me this shirt. I got hats. I think he's sending some more stuff. I'm trying to get stuff for the brothers, and you know, we're gonna figure it out. But anyway, let's get to why we are here. Now, here's the most interesting thing. Last episode, we had Grand Agent and Ranks.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we've been doing this is episode 7.
7, yep.
Grand Agent was the first Philadelphia artist that we had.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was.
We've been in Philly sucking up their air,
Yeah.
hogging their streets. And we didn't have.
Letting PPA run us up with tickets.
You know. Oh my God! Don't get us started. Yeah. You know, we got a little. Anyway, all that's happening, but that was the first person we had from Philly.
Yep.
So now I feel like we're kind of keeping it here in Philly.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of connections here. This guy, we have a history, but this is the actual first time that
Y'all
we're
are
meeting.
Yeah.
So I got a few Mr. Eon stories, and but it's so interesting that I'm just meeting him today, but we've had a few intersections. And
Right.
I know he's sick of me telling these stories because he's heard them.
No, I like it.
Okay. All right. He said he likes them.
Right.
But listen, these brothers came back with an album this year. I am a fan of this dude right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm tell you to your face, you have one of the best hip hop voices
Thank
ever.
you, sir.
And I'm not gassing you up.
Yeah.
Always love that. So we're gonna get into some stories, but we have the one and only Mr. Eon from the High and Mighty. Clap it up,
Let's
y'all.
do it.
Clap it up. All right. Mr. E.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, brother?
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it. And,
So,
you know.
Thank you for coming.
And even
For sure.
I came a little while ago. We were talking, so
Yeah.
we can talk for
Yeah,
a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah, I like that build. Like now I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
we gonna have a nice conversation.
Exactly.
What I like to do when I start talking to people, I want to start where we're at currently. And you dudes, you and Mighty Mai have a new album.
Yeah.
And I want to get a little bit into that. I don't want you to think I'm saying like this, but older rappers that have been out of the game, what was the impetus? What made y'all come back? What made y'all?
Well, I think we started working on it in like 24, like at some point early in 2024.
Okay.
And we just started doing songs because I think it's me. Like Mai would always be ready, technically. You know,
Right.
if I ever was like, yo, let's do something, he would be like, cool. Because he kept doing stuff, you know, he was doing like the EDM stuff and like doing the hip hop Jones like
Right.
that he did. But then, so really it was just, you know, I was just like in my, you know, Ben Kenobi phase. And I just was like in my own world and just like
Right.
trying to raise a kid. And I don't know, I kind of like turned it off. And then, you know, just getting towards the end, I just started, you know, feeling like, why not? And then I just started like writing more. And
Right.
like it just came, there was no rhyme or reason to it. So then I was like, Ma, send me beats. And he sent me like first ones. And it's like 3, you know, the bangers on the album. So like you don't hear beats for a while. And like whatever I wrote to those, like literally I would put that on. I wrote it to those beats. Like it was just what like came out. So
Right.
it was just, it just came back out. So I don't know why, but it, you know, when you ask why we did it, it was like when I kind of did.
Right.
It. So that's just because, you know, I'm weird.
I remember. So you obviously know my brother Flatline.
Yes.
And I think you guys have an interview in Chuck's new magazine,
Yep.
right? A little plug, shameless plug.
Do it.
Rap Central Station magazine. There's a High and Mighty interview by my brother Flatline. But we are both big High and Mighty fans. So
Right.
I remember there was a picture of you. I think Milo put it up in his story or something, but it's you in the booth.
Yeah.
And we were like, yo, is this real? What's happening? Like we were bugging. We were like, yo, is this happening? So for fans, I'm a fan. I've always been a fan. So to see that and you guys to come back, especially we were talking earlier, in this time,
Right. Exactly.
it almost seems like it's destiny. It's like
Yeah.
perfect time.
Yep.
Yeah. So you like you said, you started doing more tracks. So in the beginning, where you guys were just going to do an EP, or were you
we were
thinking a
just
full
gonna
album?
do like a 4 or 5 song, John.
Mhm.
And then Mai just kept coming to me, being like, "Yo, I talked to Search.
Thanks,
Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, yo, I talked to Sadat X. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, what I do is what I do, you know?
We can have a whole thing about him and like, you know, his kind of executive producing, but like he would just keep coming with like tracks and people and being like, and be like, oh, you know, like Tash and like the Tash Sadat thing. Like I wrote those hooks. Like for me, it was insane. That I was like writing stuff for these guys, but Mike kept coming and being like, "Yo, let's do this," and so, you know, that's what we kept doing.
You guys got a few features on there. Chub Rock's on there.
Yeah, well, yeah. The first couple ones stem from my doing this kind of like he did this, I guess, dance genre, like EDM, like back in the day. So he did ones with OC. He did like a lot of them, but then he had these other verses. So those we kind of used, and like some people did new verses, like the Chub Rock one. And so we would have stuff in the Artifacts one, which has now come out on the vinyl.
Okay.
And that's going to be on something else that we do in the future. But yeah, so we were able to, you know, get all these people. And that was kind of, you know, what we always did. So it was very apropos to come back and have this.
Yeah, it's a dope album.
Oh, yes.
Very dope album.
And then one, like, because I was talking to Brian, he was telling me about how, like, some of the features, like, I think the King T one might have came through that.
The Chub and even the Artifacts one, man.
Yeah.
Like, that was on some, you know, so, yeah.
So, because I'm like,
and the OC.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And you look like you said, okay, there King T's on the album, OC, Large Professors, Dot. I mean, there's so many features, but it seems like it was people that we grew up with for that.
Exactly.
So was that very conscious of what you doing that?
And Maz kind of spoken upon that about, instead of like our peers, like in 99, like the peers of who we were, this was like, you know, who we always looked up to. Like to have Chill Rob G is just like insane.
Crazy.
I mean, it's just the most craziest thing ever. And so, you know, that was just because, you know, and also we can, you know, there's no pressure and it was just like whatever. So like, that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Speaking of peers, you brought back my man.
Yes.
One of my favorites. Sometimes he's out there, whatever, but you brought back the Cage Kennels that I wanted to hear.
Rage bitch, get off the fucking stage, kids. I heard you were dead. Behold, Cage lives.
Hey, yo, check it out. This is the Prospective Podcast with ULTRAMAG7 and Kotta Ranks and your man Sadat X, the Wild Cowboy #1.
Milo, he sent me a text. He was like, he sent me the text. He said, "Yo, I got something for you." And it was like, "Behold, Cage lives." I was like, yo, I was bugging.
Yeah.
I was bugging. I'm a big Cage fan.
Hell yeah.
Smut Peddlers.
Yep. Yeah.
So, how did y'all dust off this Agent Alex that we wanted to hear?
Well, I think we just started doing like the songs and recording and putting them out. And then I don't know how much my talks to him. I don't talk to Cage that often, but I think I was just like, yo, man, we're doing this. Like, you got to be on it. Like, will you do it? And he just said yes. And it was a matter of what he said. So we're just lucky.
Wow.
And so he and then when I played that, I had the same reaction everyone else. I was like, oh my God, because I'm a huge Cage fan. And like, that's why we work together, basically. And then, but to have that and to be like, wow, like, you know, and it was, you know, it's meaningful. It also added, it was meaningful.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
was, to that time, that space with that, if you want to quote unquote call it underground,
right? That
means everything.
Yeah, we couldn't
to us.
have this out without it, you know. And I'm just glad he was able to do it for sure.
We all are.
Sounds so good, man.
Yeah.
We all are. Yeah.
Because I was a fan. I think Ma kind of brought him back a little bit. Was it Kill the Architect? So hearing that album, I'm like, I remember when I just came across, I'm like, yo, what's this? I'm like, hey, is Cage and his Mighty Mind? I'm like, okay.
Right.
So you just put out vinyl, or you're putting out vinyl?
Yeah, we just put out vinyl,
Okay.
CD, and cassette.
Okay.
And some merch.
For Sound of Market?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's 2 new songs. There's one with Esoteric.
Right.
Yes.
And then there's one with
For Artifacts, yeah, you were saying that.
So that's, but then
Yeah,
those
I
are
give you
also
credit.
going to probably be remixed and maybe part of something else we do
Okay.
later this year in 26.
Oh,
maybe.
Yes.
So there's more work.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's crazy. That's crazy you brought up Esoteric. Because you know what's crazy? I didn't like 7L and Esoteric for the longest time.
Right.
And you know why?
Wow.
Because I was such a Cage fan.
Right.
I was such even when they came out with the what's the thing they're doing that they have
Czarface.
Czarface.
Yeah.
I would not listen to it because I was such a Cage. I'm like, I'm not listening. And then my boy, big Doom fans, when they came out with Czarface Doom, I started listening. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, Esso's kind of nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yo, Esso's kind of. I'm like,
They're nice. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, it's dope.
but
I was the same way. But also it was, more peer and like, I guess we weren't really interacting that much.
Right.
And I just didn't really beef with people.
yeah.
That was just me.
Mhm.
I'll say this to you. I always looked at them as like a quote unquote a Boston high and mighty.
Right,
Like
right.
I was like, I discovered you guys first. I'm
Right.
like, well, they're just the Boston high and mighty. Like I
Right.
got the not saying the real, I got the high and
Yeah,
mighty
Right,
here.
exactly.
But that's what it always like. But
Yeah.
listen, I'm on 7L and that's
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I used to listen to Be Alert and all that stuff, but
Right.
as it went along, I'm like, yo, you beef my EC boys? No, we can't have it. We can't have it. All right, so we got vinyl, and there's more stuff
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, we're trying to do some more songs for
Okay.
sure.
Oh,
love
man. That's
I
good.
love that.
It's good to hear.
That's
Really good to hear.
as we said. I believe 2025 is the appetizer.
Right.
2026, I think we're going to be in for something. As far as hip hop.
Yeah.
So let's take it back a little bit.
Yeah.
I like to get out what you're working on now so
Yep.
people can, digest that. But let's take it back. How did Eric Meltzer,
Yes.
correct?
Yes,
How
sir.
did young Eric Meltzer discover hip hop?
Well, I know the very first time, the very second was, I think it was Rapper's Delight. I was in camp and someone had it on like a Walkman and they put it on. And I was just like, it was crazy. And it was just, I think the tempo and the beat and like, I think I was just, I was hooked. And then, hanging, with a couple other kids, in our kind of world, that were my grade and stuff. Some 1972 born people who were,
There you go.
who are, remember, like, it's also how old we were. And
Right.
we were, so if you're in 1985, you're 13. And it's like, that's when you start absorbing.
Right.
And
Right.
it was just, you and this music were both like coming up together.
Right.
And so that's what it was. It's like my dad was born 1940. He had the same thing with jazz. So he was like
Wow.
18 in like 1958. So like, that's what he was buying, all those classic albums. And then like, I was 16 in 88. So it's like,
Right.
it's just, we were just on the path and it just became, we were, obsessed about it. And then we went to a concert. We went to Murphy's Law. Public Enemy.
I show you my gun, my Uzi weighs a ton because I'm public enemy #1.
And Beastie Boys.
Now what you do, you want to make this sound nice. You You're just fessing, man. I don't even want to hear about it. You're just fessing.
And we walked in when Public Enemy was on.
Wow.
And they were doing like My Uzi Weighs a Ton.
Right.
And like I think my whole jaw dropped. And like, I don't know if, it's a different feeling. I know people have walked into concert halls, but
Right.
this was like you walked into this Spectrum and the whole shit was rocking and like, and it was just this. And it was just like, the dopamine was just fucking going everywhere in my brain. And so then we, like, literally that was like whatever, like 2 days later, we went to like Funko Mart or Sound of Market and we bought the Public Enemy #1 12-inch. And then in May of 87, so this was April 87, we went to that concert.
Right.
And May 87 was our talent show. We were freshmen and we rapped over that. So within 40 days.
Wow.
And so we were like, and then like the Beastie Boys, like, so we were like, oh, why not? And, we knew, John Schechter,
Right.
who, and
Batch in?
yeah.
Okay.
And they
Okay.
were in our same school. We went to this Quaker school that went from kindergarten to 12th grade. And so let's just say when they were in 12th grade, we were in 8th grade.
Right.
And they performed at this same, in 86, they performed at the talent show. And we were like the 8th graders sneaking in.
Right.
So we saw them. And then we went to a concert once, like that summer, and me and mine, like, they were like, oh, like everyone was like, oh, Beastie Boys, because we were like, looked like it. We had like the hats back and, propped up, and we had our little white Jew froze like popping out. And so we did look like that, but we went, and I mean, there's a picture, like one of the, I think the Super Sound, the one with, is a picture of that performance, like that straight May 87.
Right.
So
That's
then we
nice.
just were like, let's just do. And then my just, he really started, he could tell you his stories about how he, we had a 4-second sampler and we would have, he would take the Mark the 45 King Johns and just loop those, like, and then we would rap over that and like stuff like that. So we were just high school kids, like being stupid and like, just like everyone else who started.
Right.
We were that's what we did.
So just going back before that real quick, how did you and Milo meet?
We met. So again, we both went to this school. It's a friend school. It's like in the Parkway,
Right.
in Philly,
Mm-hmm.
Friend Select. And so I was in 3rd grade. And what it was is like, they used to be like, Eric, this is would you like to host someone? They'll go with you all day. And so I would be like, yeah. And they were like, this is Milo. And so we met in 3rd grade and I was like, hey, and I like literally took him around and like, he was like with us and, our friend Air Rev, who's our friend Adam, who we're still friends with. And we like, had one day and then he went home, was like, I want to go to that school or whatever.
Right.
And he was, and so then in 4th grade, the first day he was there, I was like, oh, so from 4th grade, and then we lived together in the same city, even going to Boston and New York at the same time.
Yeah.
Till 06. So we lived in the same city together from like 84 to 06. So that's like, 24 years.
That's a nice
or whatever.
run.
So, and then we grew up together and then we went to
Right.
college together and then we did this. So we're like brothers,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's not only child, but I'm only child, but
Right.
like, we had that basically brothers.
Yeah.
And that was,
Okay.
that was dope.
Hey, check it out. This is the Prospective Podcast with my brother ULTRAMAG7 and Kotta Ranks. It's your man, Grand Agent. Let's get into it.
Go now, fast forwarding back to when you were discovering music, and we're the same age, so we're discovering music at the same time, and maybe for other generations, it's hard for them to understand. Rap was not readily available.
No.
It was, I remember my brother would tell you, we scoured the radio find WHAT. Lady B's on WHAT. This, this is prior to Power 99 wasn't
didn't
even
exist.
in the town, or 91.7 KDU. Like, so just you, like, how were you, that thirst for hip hop? What were you, I mean, I just said some of those things, but were you doing any other things to really quench that thirst for hip hop?
Well, one thing is that I was born in New York, and my parents are from New York. My dad's from Brooklyn, and my mom is from the Bronx. So I had my dad got a job here when I was 2, so that's why I grew up in Philly.
Right.
And so I had my grandparents in Manhattan, and so I went to New York once a month from when I was 2 till 18.
Wow.
So. Then when you got into it, then it was like, oh, wait, then there are these New York shows. And that was when I didn't know. Like, I knew that, like Power 99, whatever it was before then in Philly. But then I would go and I would be in New York and Manhattan and like at my grandmother's. And she, like she had a boombox too, like whatever.
Right.
And so I would find, like WBLS and like Red Alert and stuff. And I would be so excited. So like, and that's also Mai has great stories because Mai's mother, he also like went back and forth. And even in 6th grade, he moved back to Brooklyn for a whole year. So he had, you can ask him about those, but he, it was about coming back with these tapes. So you would come to Philly and it was ahead, it was still ahead of Philly.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So like, Jones that were coming, Chuck Chill Out and like all those, they were a little bit, ahead. And so you would get these, and it was local. It was like how they would play Steady B and Cool C here. They would play like Chuck Chill Out and like Cool Herc and, all that stuff, there. And you would come back with those tapes. So that's how you found it. But again, it was just finding tapes, and then you would find out about the shows. And we went to the stadium, the first arena shows that were, like I was mentioning the Beastie Boys, but then we went to, these Def Jam tours, and like you can look these Johns up, and it was like the most craziest shits ever. So 87, 88, 89, like we were in high school. So we were just, it was just like, it was just all laid out. Yeah. And it was like the greatest time. And we were just 16, and like, we were just so lucky in the timing of our lives and the timing of this beautiful art form. And you're just intertwined with it. Like,
It makes me think, so you said that show. I love telling this story. My brother's here. He went 84 to the Fresh Festival.
Right.
First at the Spectrum. He bought the poster. And then my boy Clarence is here because he saw this. So I never went to the Fresh Festival. My brother came home. I waited up till he got home, and we had bunk beds. So top, bottom beds. I made him tell me everything that happened. He's like, yo, Houdini came out on the scooters. The Fat Boys run it. It's my motherfucking house, runs houses. But I had the poster for the Fresh Festival because he had one. So when I went to Drexel University, I took it. I'm in Kelly Hall. I got it up in no, matter of fact, I was in Van Rensselaer Hall. Had it up there. Clarence, my brother's here. I used to have it in my room and live. Like, yo, I went to the Fresh Festival. Yeah. People like, yo,
I think a lot of people lied about going to that.
But because he told me.
You had enough info that you could say, oh, what?
I put it on.
I remember the skate.
I lied so much. I feel like I went.
Right.
And it was only in the last 5 years that I stopped lying.
It's like a Woodstock. It's like, you could say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you guys saying you were going to talent shows and stuff, like, I had the same type of thing, but how did you know how to record? Like, did you know any of the process, like what you were doing? Like,
not really. In high school, a little, like we would just, I think Mai had some kind of little 4-track thing with like a mic right into it. And we would play the Mark the 45 King John.
Okay.
And so that would be one track and then the mic. And like that would, and maybe Mai scratched or something. But then there was like then we made loops. So it was like, like hitting it was like this mixer with this like circle. And I remember Mai had that and it was like the trigger. But it was just one bar. So you could loop like,
Yeah.
one bar, and you just had to do it. And we did a couple early on, but a lot of the early recordings are over like these Mark the 45 King Johns. That's all it is. It's
Now-
just rhyming like, and who knows how many bars, like 18 bars. Like you didn't know what to do. 14. And then Mai would cut for 4 bars. You didn't, there was no structure.
Wow. So we have a lot of I swear. I didn't know anything about it.
But no one did.
No.
Right.
But I guess you would students of music and someone, they'd be, and eventually you got told that. I think I remember like Schechter, like we played him songs. He was like, first of all, there's no bass line in this. And we were like, I know, like we're like putting something. And it was just like, and like, so you had to figure it out. And like, that's what even Primo's talking about, like in the new John, like the pause tape shit. Like it was just like you had to figure out how to do it.
Right.
So early on we did that, but then Mai graduated and he kept graduating, and then you built, and like then you get a piece of equipment that you can make a real song on.
Right.
So
Right.
you spoke of Schechter. How did you feel when you saw that BMOC single?
That's me. Well, I'm the Sultan, got the other MC Bolton. Like Rick, I'm sick, and like Joe, I'm Jones. Sultan MC, also known as Double J. 5'10" is what I measure, 150 is what I weigh.
That's when I was like, oh, we can totally
That
do
made
this.
you say
Right.
that we could.
100%.
Right.
Okay.
Because why not? Like if they did it, and we, yeah.
And so, okay, let's tie. So Schechter was in Boston too, right?
Well, he went, no, but we again weren't there at the same time because he's
A
like,
few years
when
older.
you're like we were seniors in high school when
Right.
he was a senior at Harvard.
Okay.
So then we went to Boston, he went to New York. So then we hung out, we were there. And I think there was some he was on like in the NYU area, because our boy Will, who's One Take Will from the Goats, he was also in Schechter's class, and he went to NYU, and so he was there. And so there were times that me and Mai would go up when we were seniors,
Right.
and to NYU, and like, but then when we were seniors and when we were freshmen in college, and then also we would go to New York and see Sheck. So like, and he was full Source, and like Mai did things and wrote for the Source, and so that was just
Wow.
we were like their little brothers, like their little peons at first, and so that was fun. That's just the way it was, but
Right.
Yo, that's crazy. And when I even think about it, because I've looked back at it, I have old sources. I see Milo's name, like DJ Mighty Mind.
That's
I'm
how
like,
it came up. I was with him when we did the Larry Lair interview, and we went to the old Rough House, like when it was just whatever. And Larry Lair was the big artist, and Mai did the Larry Lair, I think, the review and everything. And we did this interview, and it was dope.
that's crazy.
That is it.
So you and Milo, you both go to college in Boston. You're still staying in contact, still working on stuff, and then you rhyme for Bobito.
Yeah.
So, and were you already listening to Casey? Was Casey our thing at that point, or?
I don't think we had access to it because like we were like in Boston, and then I would go home to Philly. Maybe I bet Mai did a little bit, and he would like maybe he even said something, but then I do remember I think senior I don't know, maybe sometimes in Boston in New York listening to it, but probably not.
Right.
I don't really remember it as much, but in college, yeah, like, so you're talking 91, 92, yeah, like, yes. And like the Wu-Tang, like whenever they went on there and all that,
KCR was
yes.
up by then.
But yeah, and so I know I met him in 93, so I think I was like a junior, and I remember the room, and it was like, I think Bob was trying to talk to a young lady who was there, and maybe they had a connection to Wesleyan or something, and there was some reason he was there, and I was like on a, like he was like, rhyme for me, and I just did, and he was like, oh, and I probably said some weird lines, and he was like, oh, and then he was like, yeah, man, you got to get on. And so, this is 93. There's no cell phones and email. It's so what, in whatever way, like we got on there. And so we went to New York and we went on and then remember me and Mai started making those promos and Mai really did it. And because again, going back to those New York promos, like the Chuck Chill Out, all these, they would do special little songs. Yeah. And so we, again, as we did, we emulated things and we tried to do styles from the back. So we were like, oh, we can get on there. Like, let's make a dope ass promo. And it was like, down with the Bobito. Yeah. You got to run for the stretch. Down with I don't know if people know about I guess people are like, know about those, but that's how we first. And so then just got on. And I remember that was also when I was like in the summer, like discovered weed. And I also like really changed. And I got like, that's just me and my maturation, 92, 93, just got like on some weird. So if you listen to those first ones and it's kind of like a little bit of Hyro, like the flow. Remember, everyone was flowing. Right. There was like the Akinelli flow, and people had different flows of like, and different. We're talking things that we know, but people don't know about this stuff.
Listen,
and so
my brother's got demos of me doing all that.
Right. Yeah. And so. I remember doing like weird inflections and weird because also it was like time. Cool Keith.
Yeah.
Because it was just, so, then I was just weird. So it was like a trigger and just being able to like, oh, I can say anything.
Yeah.
I was like, I can do anything. So it was dope.
Wow. So that gave you that put the battery in your back. What's the first actual single?
I think It's All For You. Oh. That one.
Okay.
It's All For You and, the other John.
You come around, but laser beams are shot through. Some jams was destined to be named It's All For You. It's all for you. It's really all for you. It's all for you. It's really all for you.
So, we had that one, the hands-on experience.
Right.
John, so those... there was the first single and then the hands-on experience and then, went from there.
So were you guys always building up? You know you're going to put out a record?
Yeah, no. So it's interesting. I think what it was is at one point in high school, we met these dudes like through maybe Todd One at Sound of Mark because we were freaks. Remember there weren't a lot of white kids into this.
I heard
there weren't a lot of white kids going to these stores and buying stuff, and we were like, we knew our shit. And like Todd One be like, oh, there's this group Ultramagnetic, and we were like, okay, he told us everything.
Right.
And so we would go there and like just be able to again rhyming over that. Then we kept building, and then we did this stuff where he linked us up with these guys, and we went to West Philly and did like a couple songs, and they were getting there.
Yeah.
They weren't, you couldn't put that record out. And then we went to Boston and we went to a studio and we recorded. We had this one, we wrapped over, like we took this piece of the D-Light, John, like this 92 or whatever, like Groove Is in the Heart, that some shit or something on the album, and we like looped that, and we did weird, and that was almost like that was like Doomish because it was weird and like loop, but then we made one, and then It's All For You. That John was like, then that was the next song, and that was it. So it was just getting better, and then there was one that was okay, and then we were able to put those out on EC with our own. We made up our own label.
I'm glad you brought up EC. So you guys were always in the beginning, we're going to put out our own, like.
Yeah, what happened was the distribution was Fat Beats, but people were signing the Fat Beats, and they would say, here we are, we want you to give us an advance and this and that. But then remember, like, they own it. That's not yours.
Right.
So we literally were like, no, we just were like smart. We're like, I don't even know how we said, we're like, let's just make our own label. And it's just us. And like, and we'll say, this is our label. And then we say we own it. And so we're coming to you as artists from Eastern Conference. And so we put it out on Eastern Conference, but then we owned everything. Like, I don't even know if we got real like advances on those. Like you would just get, to press it. Like we were even pressing it. We went to Granbury, New Jersey. Me and my got a van, and we would, like that's once we were in New York and everything.
Right.
We would go and get our 12 inches and like then bring them to New York and bring them, so we were doing it like that. But the thing was we were saying we're not going to be on a record label. We're going to be our own record label.
Right.
You guys were smart because everybody, listen, I was like, yo, I'm going to do this. We're going to take these promo pictures. I'm going to get these demos, and we're going to go up to Wild Pitch.
Right.
Wild Pitch.
Right.
And we're going to try to go to the next plateau. We're going to go somewhere. But it was about, in a time when it was about being signed, for you guys to have that foresight to be like, no, we're going to own our stuff.
And then to be linked with, some of the early groups we worked with, like Rashid and Ill Advised. And then those were the next records. So we were a label. We were like, they were on like Quake City and like they did there, but we would have our records and like going into and then open mic night.
Who got the live round flow? Kick like Taekwondo. Dine with the bomb show. Let the Messiah shine glow. Offer 24 is Cubans. Twist that shit. Let the herb hang out of 2 wins. What the fuck?
So like, and then that was that, and like the original B-Boy document were the ones, before Raucous.
Right.
And so that's, that's a whole other era. But at first it was, It's All For You. And then we did a couple others like, Sun, Moon and Stars was, like that was our early John, and like, that was Alchemist John.
Early.
Wow. So your deal with Raucous was the same setup, essentially.
Well, yeah, that's
like you weren't signed to Raucous is what I'm saying.
Part of it was that we made we knew Brian and Jared, and like they noticed like when we did the B-Boy document record, like that did real well.
Right.
And the Smut Peddlers,
okay,
the One by One, like those did like that was the peak of the underground where you could sell vinyl. And so we hit that. Well, that was like 98.
Okay.
And then we had a whole because we made the album ourselves.
Right.
We didn't get like an advance.
Right.
We did because we're your Eastern Conference. So me and Mod did it. We paid Thurston Howell and Eminem and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And we had whole things, and we just did it. And we would sell the records and put it back in. And we just kept, paying people and pay us to sell, but we would pay like the artists.
Right.
Like, and then so we had the whole album pretty much done, minus a couple of songs.
Right.
And we were about to like sign with Tommy Boy.
Okay.
And just for the record to be on Tommy Boy.
Right.
But then what it was is on these other channels of things that were going on was, Sheck was linked up with Paul Rosenberg when Paul came from Michigan, to work, and he was like in New York trying to like be with Eminem, but he was like, I'm a lawyer and this. And so he was like, took us under his wing. It was like, we can do something different here. He was like, let's go to Raucous because they like you. And so then we went to Raucous with Paul.
Right.
So, and we got a label deal. We didn't have anything to do with, we got a label deal, and it was Eastern Conference. So again, it was just nothing high and mighty. And that's, you can't think about like, most people are coming up and you want a record deal, you're trying to make money and like, but we just kept being like, no, we're just going to keep putting it into it. Like I kept working, like we had no like egos. So like we were able to kind of do that. And so, it was just, we were lucky to do it that way.
Right.
We were smart to do it that way.
Very.
But, yeah.
Very.
And we got 2 albums into it. And so we did our thing. We did okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Let's talk about those two albums. Yeah. So let's start with Home Field Advantage.
They think they're so high and mighty. Anybody seen that high and mighty?
And I don't even remember. You know how I knew you guys? I used to go right over here. Footwork. Matter of fact, that's what it was. It was Footwork.
3rd Street.
Didn't you guys do like a couple
We
in-store
might,
shows?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I probably saw you guys. And here's a question I've been wanting to know, and this has nothing. But did either you or Milo date Steph Tatas?
Yes, Milo did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard this for years.
She had a close friend named Lucy. Big up Lucy. And she was her friend, and we dated both of them.
Okay.
For 1 second. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to go into Footwork. Actually, I used to go earlier. I would go to Q Records.
Right.
I think she was at Q first. But then with Footwork, I would go to Footwork. Yo, Steph put me up on mad records.
She's awesome,
Yo,
man.
she knows her hip hop.
Man. She sure does.
She put me up on. She would point me. Yo, hi. I remember I used to see. I might have saw y'all's gear first. Whatever.
Right.
Y'all used to have all the different
the
high and
Easter
mighty
Conference
shirts.
Sean's too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
We
The
all
sticker with the
stickers.
Star Wars.
Yeah, the Stormtrooper. We loved doing that. That was also part. We would like really be into the stickers.
Yes.
And do crazy stickers and shit.
So that's how I really I was like, hi, my hat. And I think it's probably Steph. Like, yo, high and mighty. So that's how I got up on y'all. But let's get back to Home Field Advantage. I remember, and whose room is that? When you
recreated it. Yeah.
The artwork in the.
You mean the back cover?
Yeah.
We created it. Like if you looked at if you look at pictures of my room and like maybe mods, there's like little things of that. And we made this ultimate like conglomeration of like vomited everything that was dope to us in one thing, like the ultimate thing. Like you have these dopest sneakers and a Boba Fett full size with the and we had the jerseys before it was huge. And like so we did that in my friend's apartment. He had like a loft, so it had a good scale to it. Wow. That was supposed to be the cover too, but they were like, it's too weird and like jumbled up. It was true. We wanted that. We were like, this is the cover.
Right.
And it wasn't. It was the back cover.
Oh, man. But I remember when I'm open, I'm like, yo, this, like, because we're the same age. I'm like, no, this is like the dream.
Right.
Yo,
Well, that's also, we just cared so much about like the CD, all the stuff that's non-existent now. So we would like the thank yous. Everything, like me and mine, like even just we did the thank yous for this one because remember you don't do the thank yous for the the streaming release, and then I was like, oh my god, I haven't done these in a while, and like you're doing them, it's funny.
So this always interests me. So like I said, when you guys are doing like in stores or doing shows here, were you guys were up in New York at the time?
Yeah. We lived in New York. I lived there from '94 to 06.
Okay, so
anytime I was here, also, but again, my mom lived here,
right?
And I had Eagles season tickets for like the whole starting in 2001. So I was here, like I would go to every game and stuff. So I was, I was here, but I really missed out on like when you talk about the fluid. That's era I did. No, I'm saying I was not here for that. But I went a few times, like when Cosmo, because again, another thing is, Cosmo, DJ Cosmo. And so Cosmo, he grew up. He's one of us too. Like he was a skateboarder, his mom, he had spike skates, which was above Mitchell and Ness. So another person that was, so when we would go, we would go there, and like AM would go there, like DJ AM and stuff like that. So we still, this is still, it's early. It's like 90s.
Yeah.
So, but we lived in New York and we came here.
Okay. It's always interesting. I always wanted to ask you that because it was interesting to me because I remember this was like late 90s and I started hanging around Chops from the Mountain Brothers. Right. And then Vinny Paz starts coming through. Lewis Logic is hanging in Philly. So that little, like this underground clique, and there was like L Fudge would come into town, and we go around the corner, Sugar Bar, like we're drinking and hanging out. So I'm hanging with all these dudes, but I was wondering like where were you guys at the time? But I'm like, yo, they were in New York.
Yeah,
you know,
New York,
that's very interesting. Because I mean, even like that was early. I was in college when I was I'm gonna tell you this real quick.
Yeah.
Questlove asked me to be a part of the Roots.
You tell me.
I will not lie. That's the truth.
Tell me.
He asked me to be a part of the Roots. My dumb ass did not accept, and I regret it.
You dummy.
I swear, this is the truth. But yeah, just that bubbling
Yeah,
scene.
like I missed like a lot of that. Like I wasn't like, I have other friends, like, you know, other hip hop people that I know in Philly who had so many beautiful, like those memories and like, you know, but I was kind of up there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna bring this up because I know, but I mean, I'll bring it up because it almost makes you think of that song, like Cage tried to dish y'all.
Come on, stop. It's silly. How did you really think you had home field advantage in New York repping?
And he's like repping New York City.
Well, that's a weird thing because, and for I don't know how much she feels about it, but you know, like I'm a very New York and Philly guy. My Philly guys, like I'm a Mets fan, and they kill me about that, and so which they should. That's understandable. But you know what I'm saying, like. You know, and then I lived in New York from when I was 22 to 34 and had this whole career and like going out and like it was a beautiful time and like, you know, so I was, you know, it's just lucky, dude.
Yeah. So thinking of going back to that album, and I just recently found this out. I didn't know this. What is it? Dick Starbuck, Porno Detective.
Yes. Yeah.
That's Rashida Jones on that?
Yeah, that's Rashida Jones on that. Yep.
Mr. E, I know you wanna be with me.
Girlfriend, you better put that thought to an end.
You and me, baby, we can roll real tight.
One night is one night, that don't make it right.
We share drinks and such, I let you touch the stuff. Then an hour later, it was me you clutched.
It's much too much, girl, you gotta hush. You'll play me in the head now.
How did that come about?
Because we knew... You know, Mark Ronson, you know, like if you've, I don't know, that's, you know, he was DJing then and Mai was kind of like showing him a little bit how to DJ. And we went to his crib and his roommate was Rashida Jones. Because remember, you know, Mark is, you know, he's the son, his dad was like the drummer from Journey or something. And he's like, you know, he was like, I think kind of well off.
Okay.
And Rashida was obviously well off.
She's well off.
So I remember, dude, they had this crib and they weren't romantic.
Right.
It was like, dude, they had this crib and it was crazy.
I can imagine.
And I remember, so I think she was like, oh, you could sing. And like, she came to the motherfucking Spawn on Lexington and like, she did that. And like, you know, so she was on there. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Y'all know who Rashida Jones is? That's Quincy Jones's daughter. Yo, that's crazy.
She's in like The Office. And
Yeah,
she was awesome. I think she would remember that. I think so.
Yeah. Brilliant actress.
Yeah.
Brilliant
You can even see on some of the early records, there's some of the mix by our assistant with Mark Ronson on High and Mighty Records.
Yeah.
So, you know, we were all, that was, again, New York, like 90, whatever.
Right.
Right.
What a time.
Yeah.
So, sticking with the album, how do you this might be the only time that has happened.
Yeah.
You got an album with Cage and Eminem on the same album.
Yeah.
Now, if you know the time, these dudes notoriously beefed.
Waging wars, went on stage and sprayed Cage with Agent Orange and wiped my ass with his page and sword.
Who that trim lady? Claiming some other nigga baby while a bitch Royce roll for her bitch voice. Fags the math after moist. One Hollywood writer thought B-boy stood for fighter.
And if you ask me, my man Cage Kennels won, but I'm not gonna go there. but how did you ever have any problems with M and the whole thing?
No, what happened was we obviously had done the stuff with Cage and we were cool and like, you know, and then, you know, kind of having Paul represent us and, and doing it, I think, we talked to Cage and we were like, look, man, if we get M on this album, like it'll also propel it, so much more. And I think, definitely it was a little weird for a little bit, but we never really did that. And we were just like, it has nothing to do with that. Maybe like in hip hop, that was, like you're not supposed to do that, but we did. And like, we obviously talked to Cage about it. And I don't think Eminem even cared at that point. Like once, that was on, he was just well into, hitting the stratosphere. So
he was with Dre,
that didn't matter.
He was out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That was just,
yeah.
Okay. That was always interesting to me. So so I guess one by one, I want to talk about Cage real quick.
Yeah.
How did Cage come onto your radar to even do like one by one is the first joint, right?
No, well, we did the whole repertoire.
I'm obvious oblivion, but that's my science. Would you possibly fathom what the tone be equipped with? I bring it to that headpiece. Agent Orange stomping on MC.
Okay,
that one, and then we did the song with Masai Bay.
Since the beginning, there has always been smut. God is smut. Death is smut. Your girl is probably smut. Hip hop is smut. And now, for your pleasure, all you dirty fucks. Smut Peddlers.
That shit was crazy.
With the computer.
That song was like real weird shit.
I love that.
And we did those songs. And what happened, I was just a Cage fan. Like I think through Bobito, we're like, yo. And that was like kind of like right after, I guess it was like 97. Like he had been kind of a little bit removed from the whole, like Pete Nice.
Strung by the ankle, strip the meaty chunks and all the dangles as they bangle. From a certain angle, she's resembling my mama. I'm in the war the drama, no comic report.
So we like had to like bring him, like, it was like a little reclusive like he is now, but it was different. It was like, I remember we drove up to Middletown.
You went up to Middletown?
We were like, yo, we'll meet you. Like, let's talk. And like we met, and like I remember we went to his crib and we're just like chilling, and we're like, yo, we're doing this. Like, you down to do this, and blah blah blah. And we drove around and stuff, and we were just kind of, and it was cool. And like, I think it was partially for him, to get some dough at first, I'm sure. And for us just, again, we just wanted to work with people we wanted to work with. And we knew, he was so dope.
Right.
And so we were able to do those first two songs, and then it kept going. And then, when we got the raucous shit, we were like, look, man, that was also part of the Eminem thing. We were like, yeah, man, but we're going to do a whole Smut Peddlers album, and they're just going to, and then there was, Raucous had money behind us.
Yeah.
Right. We went to Europe. Like, you could talk about the home field advantage, but even still into, the Smut Peddlers, they were sending us, and it was, a whole different world than it is now.
Yeah.
But,
That, So part of that raucous deal, the second album, is the Smut Peddlers album. Right.
And so we would get advances, pieces, and that was it. We just got our big record. We never saw like royalties from physical, material selling. We only would get these advances, make the albums, or already make them, just recoup and take a little bit and pay everyone, and then just keep doing it. But we also had, part of the raucous deal was these singles. And we got a pretty good amount for each single. Some we did Rip Shop, Cool Keith, Copyright, all these singles we did. Those were also part of it. And they were like, look, they're bringing us all of this genre. So like when we, and Mad Skills, like every one of the EC on raucous ones were, we did well, and we would say, like, that's what it'd be, like, skills. Right. And he'd be like, I have these two dope songs. He'd be like, okay, here's what we're going to get for it. We'll split it with you. And that's the other thing. We used to just get stuff and be like 50-50 and like be like, word.
Yeah.
And then, and like, no one was doing that for people. You could come to us with songs and albums done, like Copyright did, like Juju Mob. Like the Philly shit. So those, we were like, look, like, and that was a little bit later, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we were able to, and that's just, so we were able to do that.
How did you link with Mos?
That was, again, like, it was like a before Raucous thing, but it was again like fat beats, and like you would be like, yo, we would try to like reach out to him. We would see him somewhere, and you would just get a phone number because there was no other way of communicating.
Right,
No
right.
real cell phones, like 96, 97. And, you know, and then he was also like, we knew who he was because he was on Law and Order. Like, there was a show before SVU.
That's right,
You know,
right.
Law and Order's been on for like 35 years or 40 years or some
Right.
crazy shit. And I remember even one time, like, he saw me on the street and was like, yo, man, what's up? And it was just so surreal. I think about him now, and he was like different, you know, more younger and like,
Right.
and so we did that, and we did that song. We got studio time for B-Boy Document. So Mos Def came that day. Everyone was there.
Right.
He came, and then whatchamacallit, LP.
Yeah.
And like we just did that, John. It was so crazy. And it was like, you know, and Mike Zoot.
Yeah,
we
Mike
all,
Zoot.
We all did that in the same day. We did that. Like LP wrote his John there. I don't know if most might have, but you know, so we met him that way. And then again, he was, you know, I think that one was right as the first Raucous ones were coming out. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Right.
But I wonder if that was, we linked up with him before the Raucous singles came out, like, you know, the Mathematics John, or what's the first one called? Whatever.
Black on both sides.
Yeah.
Black on both sides.
That was the album.
No, but like.
Oh, you mean the single?
He's talking about the single. Oh,
Maybe there was Mathematics.
If you can holler, you can hear.
Oh yeah.
Whatever it was, and like you know that
And
the one that he's like this on the cover.
Universal Magnetic. Universal Magnetic.
The B-side is
That's like, and also that was the record that made Raucous, kind of, right? That, and then then the Co-Flow, you know, that stuff that they put out.
12 inches.
So yeah, it was just, we were in New York, and all these guys were just around. Like we did Pharaoh's song because we went to Europe. Our first time was with, you know, Pharaoh and this group, you know, Mass Influence, Arsonist, Nonfiction, and Company Flow. And that we all went together, and we were just, you know, we were newbies. And like these guys were all kind of in the New York scene, you know, especially like Arsonist, Co-Flow, and Nonfiction. So they were kind of, you know, they were real tight. They had known each other and been doing it, and me and Ma kind of came along, and so we had to kind of get in where we fit in, and we tried to, you know, we were kind of doing that too.
Just finishing up with the Smut Peddlers album.
Yeah.
How'd you guys get? How did Beetlejuice?
Yeah, we just reached out because he was kind of like just so buck wild, and we reached out, and he had a manager at the time named Sean, and Sean was this big tall white dude who played basketball. He played for like Seton Hall or something, and he was Beatles' manager, and we linked up with him, and like we just did it, and like again, that was a Raucous thing.
What's up, motherfuckers? This is Beetlejuice from Howard Stern. You ready for the start of this?
So we would go to them, and like, you know, they would, you know, there was a budget for those albums. They put out money, and this is one of the things. They were like, these guys are weird. And, you know, obviously we were just, that was too weird for Raucous. That was not like a, you know, especially like that time they were very like, kind of Afrocentric thing, and like Mos and Kweli. And like we were just like scumbags. And we were just like, so, you know, it just wasn't like a raucous-y type thing. It was hardcore and like dope, but it wasn't like, it didn't go with like that whole thing, right? Am I wrong?
No. You know what's funny? You say that? Mr. Len said that. He said it to Mr. Len sat right there where you were, and he said, and I never really thought about it. He's like, you know, it's two different Raucouses.
Yeah.
And he was like saying what you guys would do, but then when you get when Mos and Kweli come in, it kind of becomes something.
And then they became
different.
some totally different what ended the label. They did a lot of what a lot of people try to do.
And we never got the Cool G Rap album.
Right.
Oh God.
No.
We never got
$10 million album that never. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Who knows?
Hey, you know, we never got that Cool G Rap album.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about EC real quick. I just want to bring up a couple names. Just tell me a couple things. I know it's your guy. I talked to him on the phone a couple times. Good dude. Talk about Copyright.
Okay, coming up next, we're moving on to the heavyweights. Coming up next is Copyright.
Yeah, man. Copy, like when he was very young when he'll tell you, when we met him, he's just raw, incredible, and like a real artist. Like, dude, he came up and we tried to, we weren't like real cultivating, like growing these artists. Like we did, again, we would be like, yo, this is what we got. Like we got this and we can split stuff and we could do this.
Right.
And that also is what led to, them leaving. And it was understandable.
Right.
But yeah, man, he just awesome, young energy. We would go to Europe and like, we would be getting paid and everything. I remember these guys, like him and K, just buying Jordans and shit, and like had this shit. And like, like in my mind, I was in Manhattan too. I had like crazy rent, and I just went doing the, so he was young. Like he'll tell you, he was like very, I don't know how old he is now. If I'm going to be 54 soon, he must be, I don't know how old he is, but he's definitely more than 5 or some years younger.
Right.
And remember, when you're younger, it's younger, it's a bigger difference. Whatever.
Yeah.
And so, just dope and great stage performance. And like when me, him, and Cage were just doing those shows, it was like we were interchangeable with so many. It was so dope to be able to do a Copyright song, a Smut Peddlers song. Then we could do the, Nowhere to Hide At, where me and Copy. And it was just like, it was like, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
Boop, boop. And like that was my. And so we were able to do that. So he was awesome.
Let me ask you a question then. Since you brought all that, why were you never part of the Weathermen?
Well, that was a whole thing. I think other people who were in the Weathermen maybe didn't want so many people in it, or when I came, at one point I was told I was in it, but then I didn't. So it is what it is.
I'm always like,
it's
why
fine.
is it Eon in the Weathermen? Yeah. Anyway, so this is more of like, I heard of this artist, but I know you guys used a lot, he produced on a lot of different EC records, but J-Zone.
You want a free verse, your label was a joke from the start. You want a free beat, then put a stethoscope to your heart. You want free dick, then baby, go back to your ex. You want free advice, chump, shave the back of your neck.
Well, he had his era, and he was just, he's a really, incredible person, and he, he's has a whole other world that he created. Drumming. He's like a funk drummer, and he basically taught himself how to drum, and he's like a musical like genius kind of person. And just in like that era when he started doing beats, and we had ones for like the High and Mighty and then the Tame Johns, and like they were just so incredible with the samples.
It's,
and like
it's
so,
a crazy, his style is so
he's
unique.
Definitely like removed himself from that era, and that's great. And like that's some artists do that sometimes, but I'll always like it's incredible. So he was just awesome, and he was just dope.
I mean, I love to do right stuff.
Oh yeah,
but
so do I.
I was like,
I know.
Zone. Don't forget.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we'll get to this in a minute, but I used to do his rhymes on stage too.
Right.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Right.
Here's one. I remember I went to see, I think it was a Jedi Mind Trick show. And I went with Soulbuck. Me and Soulbuck are there. And we see this dude come out on stage. It's just him and a DJ. There's no hype man or nothing. And I don't know none of his songs. He rips this stage down, and I'm like, who is this dude? And every time I see him, I tell him this story every time. Reef the Lost Cause.
Of course.
Yeah. Lost Cause.
Feast the famine. Let's get it. Let's go. Yeah.
How did y'all find Reef?
Well, that was another. So then, going back to the Friend Select thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you had, the Schechter generation, us, and then there was a younger generation.
Wow.
It was our boy Charlie Greenberg,
Mhm.
and he put out, those Jones like the Chief Kamachi,
Right.
Juju Mob, and Reef the Lost Cause. So like he was. And he does crazy stuff now. Like, look, he did shit with like Glorilla and stuff.
Right.
Like he's really, ascended well. And
Right.
like he was like, yo, I have these joints. And again, anyone who brought us albums,
Mhm.
and he would be like, we have a whole album, or it would be like kind of done, and they would have to do it. And we would do stuff like at Mighty Mai's crib. They would come to New York and record a bunch of stuff.
Right.
And that was the other thing. We had like the studio, and Mai would do beats. So it was like that was just part of the EC thing. So that was another Friend Select because he, link up type thing,
Yeah,
just because he knew, and he started out with Reef. And big up to Reef, man. He's
Yes.
just a beautiful person, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Reef's
he's
a good dude.
He's awesome.
He's a good dude.
Listen, I'm telling you, there's probably been seriously, obviously, like maybe like 20 shows.
Mhm.
Every time I see Reef, like I'll be at Kung Fu Necktie.
Yeah.
He's sick of me telling the story. I was like, Reef, I just got to tell you this.
Yeah.
It's like, cause yo, I didn't know you from nothing. And we just sat there, me and Buck, yo, this dude is
Yeah,
nasty.
yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude.
Just want to get a couple more. I
Yeah.
want to, and these are our fallen soldiers. Number one, let's get into the Tame
Yes.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. North Face Gooses. South Orange Avenue produces. East Coast is the loosest. West District is ruthless. Boom Squad. We leave you toothless. Eastern Conference All Stars. Ghetto
Yeah, man.
You
Yeah, Tame was just beautiful. He had a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
like drinking and
Mhm,
stuff, and
absolutely.
but who wasn't?
Yeah, yeah,
Not like too.
Right.
I'm not like saying it like that, but he was awesome, and he was like, and when I thought he did like his best stuff with us, and like he was just with all those dark skinned Christopher Walken, like all those
Yeah.
crazy imageries. Like I feel like he really
Right.
hit that style,
Yeah.
like really with us, and like. And again, like the J Zone, like Tame Johnson,
Yeah.
so like very talented dude,
Yeah.
and we dealt with him, and his mom is his manager,
Mhm.
Darlene, big up to
Darlene, yep,
Darlene.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
And so we would, he was just, good, and we loved Tame. Like, so again, like we worked with him and reached out, like Mai does that.
Yeah.
Be like, yo, and like that's how it would happen. And like then, and like he got it with Cage, and obviously did Leak Brothers. And
Leak
so it was
Brothers.
like a lot of
Click,
things.
click, 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 click.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of, we just talk about Cage, and we talk about another fallen soldier, Kamuteo.
Bad times great. We do a quick grimy if you head our way. Dirty cops cop a block head upstate. Middletown Galleria, holler out Jake. Hold up.
Yeah, man. Come on. That is
Yeah.
just heartbreaking, dude.
Yeah.
And it's been a while now, since he passed. But, I know him in like so many ways. And like people say, like he was just a beautiful spirit. He was hilarious and goofy and crazy and serious. And like he had a good soul. And, it's just a shame what happened. But he was talented, and he did his thing.
Yes.
He did beats on like later High and Mighty Johns, and like
Yeah.
he was just awesome, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Whew. Rest in peace, Kamu.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, rest in peace.
All right. I want to do something real quick. Just
Yes.
the Philly stuff.
Okay.
I think we did this. When we do this with Philly people, we did this with Phil Most Chill.
Okay.
We're not drink champs. We're not trying to be drink
All
champs,
right.
but I just want to do
Okay, do it.
you
Let's
pick
go.
this one or whatever.
All right.
But it's Philly centric.
Okay.
Channel 17 or Channel 29?
Well, I'll even go and say Channel 48,
Oh!
which is before 29. So
My
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
Good answer.
yeah, that was better because that
Yeah, that was
had
a good answer.
it
That was a
had
good
the
answer.
like for me, there was like, I don't know if it was Ultraman or something like the first, like, and the dude with the whistle who would call the robots. It was Goldar, Silver, that shit.
I knew
It was,
yeah.
And like, those were on 48, and so was like Star Blazers and I think Battle of the Planets.
Yeah.
And that was all 48 before it turned to 29.
Right.
So
That's
I'm
good.
more of a, but, and then 17, like, no, I'm 48 and 29.
Hey, I'm so glad you brought up Channel 48.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
I
It's
totally
like,
forgot about it.
because this is what I remember of Channel 48 is they used to play the Kraftwerk. They used to play numbers. Like, remember they would play that during the commercial.
Yeah.
You see, like,
dude, who was the programming director? Like, there needs to be a documentary about that. Like, how did they know to get like Starblade? Like, how did they go and get these like anime jumps?
Yeah.
Like, how did they even think to do that? Like, yeah, it's very ill. We got a lot of side projects.
Come on, we gotta do a side project.
Exactly.
We gotta do that. Okay. I know you're a Star Wars fan.
Yes.
New Hope, Empire, or Jedi?
Empire. It's the greatest movie ever.
My man. There you go. There's nothing needs to be said about that. Empire is the movie.
Yeah, of course.
Power 99 or WDAS?
That was Power 99, kid. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 100%.
Okay.
They had Kick the Ball, man, and like those guys would come on. Like, that's one I remember. Like, that shit took over the airwaves. That song, Kick the Ball.
Oh.
And like, it was just so dope. And like, just again, sonically, like the way it was coming in, the beep, 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 and just like, it was just so that. So I'm a Power 99. Listen. Yeah, Lady B, Funk with big up to Dave.
Yeah.
The one called Funk Wizard Snow.
Funk Wizard Snow. Yes.
Snow.
Okay, let's stick with this.
Yeah.
You're an Eagles fan.
Yes.
Salute to you, sir.
Yes.
I am not an Eagles fan.
No, he's not.
My brother is not an Eagles fan.
Oh, man.
I am sitting on a Dallas Cowboys something, I don't know, something to secure my bottom. But salute to you, sir. I'm not one of them. I would tell you, one of my favorite songs that you did, The Red Light.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate your like Dallas Cowboy
tailgaters.
Tailgate.
This ain't no bright lights in big city. Dark alleys, red lights, and no pity.
I got it, lock, stock, and two smoking balls. Got trees soaked and drawn, the mute broken songs wrong. Independent like Ralph Nader. When I hate y'all like Dallas Cowboy tailgate.
I sing that out loud. I love that song. And I'm a Dallas Cowboy tailgater. But anyway. But let's go. Jaws, Randall, McNabb, or Hurts. You got to pick one.
Nah, Randall.
The ultimate weapon.
Well, first, that's who I love the most. Yes. But Donovan is still the best. He's probably still the greatest Eagles quarterback.
Five will always love you. Number 5 will always love you.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I know you're a basketball fan.
Yeah.
Dr. J, Charles Barkley, Allen Iverson.
I'm going to say Barkley.
Just because I dunk a basketball doesn't mean I should raise your kids.
I'm going to say Barkley because now, are you saying who's the best?
No.
Or you who affected me?
No, you just picking you.
Yeah,
your
Barkley,
favorite. Who's your favorite?
No, I'm just surprised you said I'm not. It's your decision.
Barkley.
Wow.
Because I rooted for Doc, and he was at the end of his career. And then, again, like, Barkley was a rookie when I was 12. So that's someone. But then, again, in after college and stuff, 2001, you're watching as an adult. So Iverson was different. And, yeah, that shit was dope.
Yeah.
But I'm going to just say Barkley because was like, that's... I'll throw it down your throat like Barkley. That's why.
He had the best sneaks of all three. I'll say that.
Yeah. And he just, that was who I grew up with. So that's my heart.
That's you know what's so crazy? I remember we were kids. My brother can attest. We would go to the Sixers games. Like the church would get tickets to go to Sixers games, and you go early because you got to see the layup line.
Yeah.
And you see Doc Duncan, George McGinnis, like all Darryl Dawkins. So we watched that. And then, later on you see Barkley and AI. And I always tell people like, yo, if you just stayed here in Philly, you've seen some great basketball.
Yeah.
Like there's some cities that,
of course,
man, they would kill to have a Dr. J, a Barkley, a AI, even Embiid now. To have that.
I was going to say Maxey, too.
Yeah. Oh, and now you got Maxey?
Yeah.
Anyway, I always had to ask you this question, E. How did you become a Mets fan?
Okay. I was a huge Phillies fan. In 1980, I was 8 years old when the Phillies won the World Series.
Right.
Okay. Then in like 81 and 82, they started trading people away. They traded Larry Bowa to the Cubs, and they traded Bob Boone to the Angels. And then the next year in 83, they kind of got, they recreated the Big Red Machine. It was the Wheeze kids. And it was Joe Morgan. I just hated it. And I didn't like that they started trading everybody. And then I think I watched, I saw the Mets. I saw like Darryl Strawberry. And I just think like as a freak athlete, like, and I was really into baseball. And I'm like 11 years old.
Right.
And like I saw him and I was like, oh my God. And then I think in 84, I saw Dwight Gooden. And like that was hip hop too. That was a form of, he was like Boba Fett. Was Dwight Gooden is like DMC. I can't explain it. It's all the same thing. And Dwight Gooden, like, it was like mystified. It was like you saw this thing, like you heard hip hop, Dr. K, and you saw this that you had never seen before.
Yeah.
And I think I was just mesmerized, and I was really into it. And I followed them. Remember, you can't watch the Mets in Philly, so I would watch them in the paper and like seeing it. And there's no even ESPN, so like I was following and like in the newspaper. And then 85, and remember they got Keith Hernandez, George Foster, and like I was really into baseball cards, and I was like, oh my God.
Right.
And then they got Gary Carter, and like in 85, I was like, then they started to be on TV a little bit because they were better, and I was just like fully engulfed, and like I was, and then they traded, like Steve Carlton left and Pete Rose left, and I guess I was just immature, and I was like, fuck them, and I was like, I'm gonna be a Mets fan, and look how that worked out for me, because they're not very good.
I did the same thing with the Nets.
Right.
The hell with the Sixers, went to the Nets, and what did it give me?
But
Nothing.
Sixers haven't won anything either, though. I mean, the Nets done. You had other eras. You had that great era, that Jason Kidd era.
Yeah, it was a great era.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the Lakers and the Spurs, but it was a good era.
No.
So I want to start ending this down, but I want to thank you. And we've talked about this, and I think you just knew this a couple years ago when I told you, but you and Milo were responsible for me getting my first passport.
Right, yeah.
And so what a lot of people may not know is I used to rap with Princess Superstar and go on tour with her. And you guys did a song with her, Bad Babysitter.
Okay, honey, now the name of the restaurant and my cell phone number are on the refrigerator. Don't be afraid to call if you need anything. Now have Josh in bed by 9:30 the latest. Now there's soda and chips in the kitchen, Atari, DVD player, and I think there's some board games in the closet. Oh, but one thing, just be good.
Okay. I'm a bad babysitter, got my boyfriend in your shower. Woo. I'm making $6 an hour. I'm a bad babysitter, got my boyfriend in your shower. Woo. I'm making $6 an hour.
That blew up and took me around the world.
Isn't that beautiful?
Bro. And I used to go on stage and say your rhymes every night.
Mr. Weintraub.
Mr. Weintraub, yeah. So you got the two Mr. You got the black one and the white one, Mr. Weintraub. But I used to say your rhymes on stage every night.
And it was like people were like losing their shit, right? Because in Europe, it was like, the compilations like here, like the hits, volume 35, and I was like for, every great song, like in Europe, that song was like on those compilations. So in Europe, it'd be like 1999, the hits in Europe, volume 37, and that shit would be on there because I know like Milo did pretty well with that.
Yeah. We did a festival. David Bowie's the headliner. We're on the main stage. We did what's the thing out in California? We did Coachella, main stage.
Right.
I've been on TRF.
You've done bigger shits than me. Exactly.
It was
No,
free
seriously.
clothes, this, that, all types
Beautiful,
of stuff.
wasn't it?
From that song. So, brother, thank you for
Yeah,
Bad
man.
Babysitter. Because
It's beautiful.
I was doing my best Mr. Eon impersonation every night on that stage. You know, I think I told you that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever knew that. But
I did, because then I saw pictures and you had like dreads and everything. right? And so I was like, oh, wow.
I was like,
yeah, that's ill, man.
I was like, these brothers got me because we got that passport. It was like, phew. So how did you guys meet Conchetta? How did you meet?
Well, I think we met her because I think she was kind of maybe been a High and Mighty fan or something. And she linked up with Mai and was like, and Mai started, giving people beats and he gave her beat and like that just came about. But I had, like you're talking about, like if you're ever lucky enough to encounter music and being able to do it when there's like money behind you, it really it's a luxury and it's such a blessing, and it's hilariously hilarious because you get to say things like me, Conchetta, and Mark the 45 King. We meet at JFK Airport at like 5 a.m. and Mark is there and Conchetta, and we go to LA and we're doing the video. And again, all of it's paid for by the record company. I remember we got to like this little boutique hotel in West Hollywood. And like I had weed on me, like I have all this weed and like Mark the 45 King. And I remember like that night, like we didn't do anything. Like it was like a dinner, and like, but it was like this is what like stars do. And like I remember I was in bed. I swear to God, I had an ashtray and I smoked cigarettes at the time. I had a joint and I had a cigarette, and I ordered room service. I ordered vanilla ice cream and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I swear to God, I was in bed, and I was like, "This is the ultimate." I was like, "This is it." I was like, "I made it." And I was like, and like, there's a funny story. Mark came to my door in a robe in his drawers. I was like, "Do you have weed?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Roll me up something right now," because he got into weed, and I like gave him something. But like, yeah, man, if you're ever lucky enough to have like one little any iota of that, like you had that, and you probably went like we went to remember like Fresh Jive. Do you remember that clothing line?
Yeah,
because we went there and they liked us, and they would be like, they'd be like, "Go," and we'd be like. And I had all this Mark Echo shit.
Yeah.
I had all, right.
For that song.
Yeah, and you did that. So that's just kind of an offshoot of like, we met her, and then like like Mai's done well. Like Mai owns that publishing.
He's
and
got
like,
another song with her.
Yeah, I know, and he did that other John. So
yeah, because thinking you got Bad Babysitter, then the song Perfect.
Right.
Milo did that, and then somebody else remixed it on I think somebody did it on TikTok. Now it's taking on a life of its own. It was in that movie Saltburn.
Yeah, that was it.
Now she's got a commercial in the UK. She hit like, "Yo, I got a commercial in the UK." Like,
God bless.
Bless her. It keeps on going. So So all her hits, she can attribute to the high mic, like her hits.
Yes. That was great. I remember writing that John with her and stuff. It was dope.
Whew. Anyway, so we we've had a history.
Yeah.
And brother, is great to finally meet you. We are connected now.
Yeah.
You said something. I'm gonna put you on this. You said we need to do some type of collaboration.
Yeah, see the gear?
Yeah,
we need to do some weird
We
something.
need to Right. I'm gonna call up Milo and I'm gonna get your number. We got to figure this out.
Absolutely.
But anybody, Clarence? Is Clarence still here? Okay. Anybody got any questions for the High and Mighty? Okay. Oh, I just got to say this real quick, because I think of my brother. So when you guys were coming on, it's C-Doc. I'm like, got to get High and Mighty on the C-Doc. And my brother was like, yo, I bet you won't ask them about the Master Ace song.
Yeah.
With the 2 Hot Whiteys. I said, you damn, straight I'm going to ask them.
Yeah.
I've heard the story a million times, and I know it was a whole different, but you guys using that on the new album, I thought that was so brilliant.
Y'all just sound like a couple of high whiteys. One thing, who named y'all the high and the mighty? Y'all just sound like a couple of high whiteys. One thing, who named y'all the high and the mighty?
I love that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was.
That was great.
I was like, Ma, we got to use it because it's like, who says our name ever?
Yeah.
You know, like it's true. It's like the only time anyone said it. I was like, we got to use it. And he flipped it. So that was, and it was,
But
that
it was
dope.
so dope. And it's because it's one of those hip hop lore things. And it's fun. Like, I mean, did you go with when they would watch the games and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh,
so the
you were
original
there.
one was, 1994. It was, and I remember specifically, it was the San Fran Eagles when the Eagles beat them, and they won the Super Bowl, I think, that year. But we beat them 40-8, like in San Fran. It was crazy. We were at the sports bar in Tribeca because Shaq lived in Tribeca.
Charlie Garner time.
So
isn't it?
this was, it was him. I think it was Charlie Garner and Deuce. Like they would have 100 yards in the same game, I think, or something like that. And so we would go to this thing. There was a couple other characters. And it was like, Reef, who was the other Reef, Rob Tulo. And so him, and he was, so we would have these different motley crews of people. And so like Ace would be there because he's a huge Eagles fan. We would have moments. And again, we were like, oh my God, we're going to the sports bar with Master Ace. So we were still fanboying because we didn't have anything. Again, 94, he had stuff we didn't. But, and we didn't even talk really hip hop. It was like Eagles. And so then we did that a few times. So then, this misunderstanding that we were at this John and Cage did his song, Suicidal Failure, where he says, walked into a Jewish slaughterhouse pumping Master Ace or whatever.
So much PCP, I changed my name to Watermouth. Pumping Master Ace, I walked into a Jewish slaughterhouse.
And his boy Tone Deaf, which is so ironic that that's his name, he was like, yo, the High and Mighty dissed you. And so it was like one of these stupid things. But then after he put out that song, Mighty got connected with him and was like, dude, like, it's me, Ma. Remember, we used to be with Shaq. And Ma was like, we would never diss you. Like, and he told him, he was like, oh, but like, it was already done.
It was out,
So we were doing, like, I don't know if people know this or notice, but at the Fat Beats, John, first Marco Polo was there. And I'd never met him before.
Right.
And he was like, yo, man, like, yo, I didn't know if like, and like, again, like I wasn't like, fuck Master Ace.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, because I'm just not like that. And so we saw Marty, he was like, yo, Ace is going to come. And so we like took pictures with Marco Polo and then we saw Ace. Yeah. And we were like, yo, and like, he's very adult. And he's like, so it wasn't like, we're like kind of goofy. And we're like, yeah. And he was like very cool. Yeah. And so like, we were just like, it was kind of laughed it off a little bit. Right. And so, but it's just, but to use that shit was dope. And like, I want to perform it because I think people will like that. And people will like, it'll be something to.
It's part of like hip hop lore. Exactly. And it's a great story. And everything got resolved. And it's like, now it's tongue in cheek. Yeah. Like we're coming full circle. And I thought that was great.
Yeah. And we're very self-deprecating. Of course we would do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Ranks, you got anything else before we let Mr. E loose?
I'm just happy, appreciate you coming through. Thank you.
No, this is dope. I like doing these like platforms, and I'm glad to be able to vibe with you because we're in that same 1972.
72.
Yeah, there you go.
Yo, I like your publishing.
Exactly.
When I saw
70 tunes.
Yeah, exactly. That's dope. Everybody.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Eon.
Thank you for coming, yo.
Thank you.
All right.
There you go. Another great episode. Special shout out to my man, Mr. Eon, for coming through. We had a great time. Great time. We kept it Philly. That's how we do. For everybody out there, hope you enjoyed the episode. Like us, share us, tell your friends, downloading helps us tremendously. But just share the platform with everybody. ULTRAMAG7, Kotta Ranks. We're in Philadelphia. If you want to come through and check us out live, Follow our page on Instagram, the.prospective.podcast. That'll keep you up to date on everything we're doing. And we will check you out next time. Peace.